Today is the 6th of October. Wanted to show something. I don't know if I've ever filmed this before, but this is this. Let's see. Is this the female? Huh? We have. Okay. There we go. All right. There you go. These are newborn pigeons. Look how small they are. How tiny they are. Here's their crop. Mom and Dad have been feeding them very well. This one just hatched today. Aren't they cute? Little yellow fuzzy guys. Not many people, think of it this way. As common as pigeons are in every city in the nation and the world, how often do you see a baby pigeon? As common as they are, when was the last time you saw a baby pigeon? Well, I'm going to explain to you why. Because when you see them, you never see them like this. But by the time they leave the nest, they don't look any different than the adults. Here, I'll give you another, I'll show you how that works. You see these? These are babies too. There's the dad right there. And there's the babies. See the size difference? There isn't much size difference. These guys are not quite ready to leave the nest. They're almost ready. But as soon as they go, you're not going to be able to tell the difference between this one and the baby. You won't be able to tell the difference between an adult and a young one. At least not a trained person, an untrained person. If you look closely, you could see fuzz on their heads. But these two have not left the nest yet. But you see that yellow fuzz that's on their head? It doesn't take them long to get to the size. So those are baby pigeons too. But you wouldn't know it if you saw them on the street. You would just think that they were regular, adult pigeons. But, that's why people don't know. But that's what makes it so interesting. Okay, yeah, this is the mother. With pigeons, both the male and the female feed the young and incubate the young, incubate the eggs, and take care of the babies. It doesn't work like that with all birds, particularly when it comes to sitting on the eggs. With pigeons, the males sit on those babies and the eggs and incubate the eggs just as much as the females. And pigeons mate for life. People don't realize that either. They mate for life. They keep a pair bond and they mate for life, and they breed all year. They breed all year. They even breed through the winter. And what makes pigeons so successful, they always have just two young at a time. What makes them so successful is when they feed their young. If you look at the crop here, they're feeding them something called pigeon milk. Inside of the crop of a pigeon, the cells in the crop grow like crazy, and they shed into the crop like soup. Okay, and when they're born, the parents feed the babies. The baby, they'll open up their mouth, and the babies stick their heads in there, and the parents pump that syrupy stuff that's called pigeon milk into their crop. So this stuff it's liquid protein. It'd be the avian equivalent of the breast milk from a mammal. And that's why pigeons are so successful. Now, they aren't like robins where they're out looking for worms and they're feeding babies, insects. Pigeons don't do that at all. I've never seen pigeons eat insects ever. They're strictly grain or they don't eat vegetation. But when it comes, and as the babies grow, they'll add seed to the diet. So as they get older and their digestive process changes, the parents add more food, different food items into them. So, oh look, the eye is starting to open. Boy, that guy's... I'm kind of surprised because it usually takes several days. Pigeons always lay 2 eggs. They start incubating in the first egg that's laid, and the babies hatch like 2 or 3 days apart from each other. So this one here is about 24 to 48 hours older than this one here. Now, I don't know if that's going to interest anybody, but considering how adaptable pigeons are, the impact they've had on human culture and human societies since the beginning of time, you should know something about them. The story of Noah and the ark and the dove, that's not a dove, it's a pigeon. It's a pigeon. There's an old saying that all doves are pigeons, but not all pigeons are doves. But the story of Noah's Ark, where he releases a dove that comes back with the olive branch, it's a pigeon. It's actually a pigeon. So, I mean, truth be told, are you going to be able to look at that white bird there and determine if that's a dove or a pigeon? In our mind, you don't know the difference unless you actually know. But in the wild, there's no such thing as a white dove. Okay? There's no such thing as a white dove. But the color white is common with an everyday, what they would call, the ancestors of these birds are called rock doves. And a rock dove doesn't look any different than that guy there. Well, he needs to have blue bars on his wing. I don't have any blue bars. And I typically, and I know people are going to hate this, but I get rid of all those birds that are like that. I get rid of all the dark colored birds. That's why you see most of these birds here are light colored. I try to selectively breed them for being light colored like this because it's easier to sell them. It's easier to sell them when they're light colored like that, or they're like that one there that's brown and white. Let's see. But anyway, there you go. Newly hatched pigeons. And they'll grow extraordinarily fast. So, till next time.